I still remember the way my mother looked at me that night. Not with anger, not even with disappointment, but with something worse, embarrassment. It was their anniversary, 25 years of marriage. Silver balloons filled the living room. Relatives laughing, cameras flashing, fake smiles everywhere. And there I was, standing quietly in the corner, holding a small wrapped box in my hands. My father's voice cut through the room like a cold blade. "Don't expect anything from her," he laughed. "She's still living off us. A total freeloader." Everyone laughed with him. I smiled too, because I had learned how to smile when my heart was breaking. That word, freeloader, wasn't new to me. I had heard it whispered behind doors, thrown at me during arguments, used as a reason for why I didn't deserve respect. But hearing it out loud, in front of everyone, on the one night that was supposed to be about love, something inside me shattered quietly. I looked down at the gift in my hands. It wasn't expensive, it wasn't flashy, but it carried the weight of everything they never knew about me. And as my mother sighed and said, "You really didn't need to bring anything," I realized something painful. They didn't see me. They never had. To them, I was still the girl who failed. The daughter who didn't live up to expectations. The burden who came home after life broke her. But what they didn't know, what no one in that room knew, was that this small gift box carried a truth that would silence every laugh in the room. And once it was opened, nothing would ever be the same again. I wasn't always like this. Once, I was the daughter they bragged about. Top grades, dreams bigger than the house I grew up in. They used to say, "She'll take us places." But life doesn't follow plans. And neither did mine. I fell in love, the wrong kind of love. I married a man who promised me a future, but slowly erased my confidence, my career, my voice. When that marriage ended, I came back home, broken, exhausted, empty. That's when the labels started. Lazy, useless, freeloader. No one asked what I survived. No one cared how many nights I cried silently. All they saw was a woman in her 30s, back in her childhood room, starting from zero. And nothing hurts more than rebuilding yourself while being told you are worth nothing. But what they didn't see was that while they judged me, I was quietly becoming someone stronger. Living under my parents' roof again felt like walking on broken glass. Every meal came with comments. Every silence felt heavy. "You're still not working. How long are you planning to stay?" People your age are raising families. They didn't know I was working nights. They didn't know I was saving every coin. They didn't know I was building something, silently. Because I stopped explaining myself. The day I realized explanations don't heal disrespect. What hurt the most wasn't strangers. It was my own parents joining the world in judging me. My father once said, "We wasted our money on your education." That sentence stayed with me for months. But pain does something strange. It either breaks you, or it reshapes you. I chose the second. I took online work under a fake name. I rebuilt my skills. I invested carefully. I failed quietly and tried again. Every time they called me a freeloader, I worked harder. Not for revenge, not at first, but for freedom. Then came the anniversary. Relatives arrived dressed in gold and confidence. Everyone brought gifts, loud, shiny ones. And then there was me, with my small white box. My aunt whispered, "Did she even buy anything?" My cousin laughed. I stayed silent, because silence is powerful, when you know something others don't. During dinner, my father raised a toast. He thanked everyone, except me. Then he added, "Some people only know how to take, not give." That's when I knew. This wasn't ignorance anymore. This was humiliation. My hands were shaking as I stood up. "I brought something too," I said softly. My mother looked uncomfortable. "You shouldn't have bothered," she replied. But I walked forward anyway, and placed the box in my father's hands. He looked surprised, almost annoyed. "What is this?" he asked. I smiled. "Just open it." Went quiet as my father opened the box. Inside was a simple folder. No jewelry, no decoration, just papers. He frowned. Then his expression changed. My mother leaned in. Her face lost its color. Because inside that folder were legal documents. Property papers, bank statements, a loan clearance certificate. The house we were standing in, the one they were celebrating in, was no longer under debt. I had paid it off. Slowly, quietly, without telling anyone, I looked at them and finally spoke the truth. Every night you thought I was sleeping, I was working. Every time you called me a freeloader, I was paying off your future. My mother started crying. My father couldn't speak. The room that once echoed with laughter was now silent with shame. I wasn't smiling, because revenge doesn't always feel sweet. Sometimes it just feels heavy. I didn't do this to hurt them. I did it to prove something, to myself. I picked up my bag and said, "This was my gift, and this is my goodbye." I moved out the next day. Not angry, not bitter, just free.